At the outset, let me congratulate all of you.
Thank you, sir.
I also know that it's a little longer process, prelim than the mains. And my general belief is that having qualified means this lag is simpler.
Okay.
But I also noticed that in this lag, candidates are more scary.
Okay.
Reason being that in the two legs, the prelim and the main, there is nobody you are facing. Is your copy, your writer. Now you face 5 people. So that fear itself is probably creating problem. Is that right, or is my? I mean, what is that fear?
So it is probably also because when for mains or for prelims, we can analyze whether we are going in the right direction or not. This is very subjective based on how the board perceives us, and we do not.
No, it's not subjective.
Okay.
Nothing in UPSC is subjective.
Okay.
Everyone knows, and they have not kept anything secret. If you read what has been written for the personality test, have you seen that? Have you read that paragraph?
Yes, sir.
Would you remember what is said? What have they said in that?
Yes, sir. So it is not just a test of knowledge, but the personality of the candidate and a few keywords that they're looking for. Honesty.
So everything is known.
Yes.
That means we say that we are looking a person who is honest.
Yes.
It has an immediate impact on when you interact. That means you can't lie. You can't cook up stories.
I see.
So there's only method.
Yes.
Like for example, they ask you one question, you answer. They follow second and third time you're caught. You got away first time, you got away second time. And third time you're caught. Then you can imagine. You will not get any marks after that.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So this issue of being honesty is most critical part. People think it lightly, think लिखा ही था उसमें, let me take chance once, let me take chance two. Don't take chance. Never take chance with the board. Also appreciate that there are these 5 people, are very senior people, and they have dealt all kinds of character in their life. So after 2-3 sentences, they know where you are.
Yes.
Please appreciate it.
Yes.
Okay. So what else is an issue? So read that. So UPSC has not hidden anything. The format of questions could be different, but objective is the same. And we are looking somebody who take keen interest in the development of this country, who are honest, and who can think out of box. So if your interview is resting around tidbits, then you will not get marks at all. You have answered all questions and they ask you what is the flag, national flag colors, and you answered this. Everything has been done, but you still get 130, 120. But there is nothing which has been checked for you of your analysis, your thinking. You have no chance to demonstrate. So one of the technique is that each candidate must try to take the board up, and that depends on your knowledge base.
Yes, sir.
If you can't push the board onto higher strata where the difficult issues are discussed, and they will not give you marks. I don't know how many. Any of you engineer here?
Yes.
You are engineer?
Yes.
You?
Yes.
All?
Yeah.
Everybody engineer.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know for sure that when you give GRE, have you given GRE anybody?
No.
In GRE exam they give you 10 questions, you answer. And depending on how did you answer those 10 questions, there is a degree of difficulty. So if your difficulty is not higher, then you do all questions, you still get low marks. And if the difficulty higher and you are answering that, you keep on increasing degree of difficulty. Even answering half the question, you get more marks.
Okay.
It applies here. So most of the students tend to remain in mundane and they think, एक सवाल पूछ लिया, 2 पूछ लिए. That doesn't help.
So one question I would like to forward on behalf of them, that why IAS after engineering?
Generally, they would ask that question this way, but answer could be by individual. They cannot be a general answer. If you take a general answer, they know it's been copied, cooked, and coached. One of the important part is that it is your own method, the way you handle the question.
That's right, sir. The answers must be your own. And
If your answering is by your honesty, your heart. Other day, somebody brought a candidate on my known person. He is a very good candidate, but what mistakes he makes, whatever he thinks he was right, and then try to recall that same. So it appeared to be as coached. So no new thinking come. So idea that you must get involved in the interview, not recalling all the time. Okay. So how do you get involved in the interview is your own effort. And this only comes when you are confident about you and you know the subject.
That's another great point. Involvement is very important because you people just take type of quiz, question answer session. It's not question answer
session. There is no quiz
session.
master there.
Involvement and active involvement. So please.
So like you said that so they will always know about something that you have, so that you haven't done or that you're lying about. But there are areas in which we have worked, but we may not have engaged very intensively in them. For instance, during college we do a lot of things, probably for a period of 6 months or a year. So sometimes we forget.
They know.
Yes.
Why do you forget? You see, that's where the problem is. It's not a vabusi. It's a personality. And your personality is built in the day you are born. The way your family brings out, the village you come from, surroundings you know, you're growing with your friends, you learn your visual language, you learn to dine. So your personality grows. It's not that you are preparing for 1 month, 6 months, that your personality is built. So they look at through you, how did you build up yourself. So they know when you are in the college, you only got 6 months to do. Everybody knows this. And you say that you participate in debate in college. So we know it's in one-time activity. Maybe you have done 2 times. And if you won a medal, we also know what level the medals are. So it is nothing new.
So sir, if they...
So you should know what you have done in your life. The point is, can you forget what you have done in your life? So this whole question, sir, it's been 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, I have forgotten. It's a sure recipe of saying that you are useless. I think some of you would even remember which color dress you wore when there was a marriage in family. You do that?
Yes.
Once you can do that, in most of the time you remember.
Right, sir.
And if it is a dancing there, what music was played. Now if you can remember that, how can you forget that what subject you studied, what project you did, which teacher impressed you, who was your vice chancellor, how can you forget? So there is no pardon that I am preparing 5 years, I am forgetting my engineering, there is no pardon. Currently the discourse is technology. It's 5G, it is disruptive technologies, they talk AI, they do machine learning. It will not be asked to the computer science man. It will ask even for Sanskrit graduate. But this has been a discourse in country for 4 years now. New education policy has focused 7 technologies which are going to influence our lives. So as a bureaucrat, your lives will run by AI or lives run by that. And if somebody says, what is a spreadsheet, and you don't know, you made a fool of yourself, that's it. Now Ukraine is an issue going on, everybody will have mugged up answers. And somebody has to think differently. So more you mug up, more you lose. So thumb rule is, be involved, understand the question, make your assessment, answer. It will not be one question, it will be more than one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a given topic. So depth is required. It's not quiz.
As I had a similar question on depth, so something that you've done for a short period in life, you may be able to answer some questions, but you may not be able to answer some questions.
But these activities will be few.
Yes.
Activities talked about Ukraine war in India, let's for example. You think this will be good enough for one question?
No.
So they will ask in depth.
Yes.
If they look at women empowerment, keep in depth. They look at budget till we depth. They want to know what are the problems of your city, how are you going to solve. Many a time you come to become a bureaucrat and you say you want to do good for society, and if they say please tell us which 3 things you'll do, then the game starts,
Right, sir.
It can. All of you want to do good for this country, isn't it?
Right, sir.
You say you want to serve society, you want to do this. They almost 70 years they've been there. Society's been running this way only. So there has to be a very logical answer of everything. And when you say at the moment that, sir, we want to do something good, and they ask you simply, please tell you what will you do in your improve education in your area. This question is automatic, no?
Yes.
Then you are in problem. You require statistics, you require schools, you require higher education if they are there, you require national education policy, you require what else, what can be done. So more reading, broad-based, and having done 4 general studies paper, I don't think anything is required. And the thumb rule is keep asking question yourself and answer. So in a day 50 questions you must answer. You are asking questions, you are answering them, and you are then understanding whether you are right or wrong. So if somebody says now read, I don't know what would you read. I don't know. Everybody reads newspaper. I remember reading newspaper when I was 6th standard boy. That time used to get a Hindi newspaper, we read it. So this is a habit you built up.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
I remember still reading books of Hindi pocket books, which used to be abridged version of the big novels, because we couldn't afford that time. So we knew the plot, we knew the hero, we knew the context. So even big novel can be read. The problem with all of you that you have not done this. I mean, I doubt that in engineers you read many things. You didn't. So best course is whatever you have studied in for civil service, based on that knowledge, try to ask question yourself, at least in areas which are the central government policies. In nothing less than 50 questions per day you ask and answer. And you are the judge.
So during the mock interviews, while answering, there was something going on in the back of the mind whether I'm giving the right answer to the panels or not.
What will you do?
So
Even if you keep on thinking about it, what will happen?
Right.
You will further make a mistake.
right,
So this practice has to be done at home.
right,
No questions will surprise you. But there will be questions which can surprise you. It depends on the way you answer. And out of that they can surprise you a question. Limit है ना? There is no limit where you can be asked question. If you think they are simple questions, your answer come to a point where at a higher level. Otherwise they will not go. They will just keep you there. And you are sure to get 130, 140.
So during the mock interview that we just passed.
And you being an engineer, they expect technology completely, you know. If they ask you what is 5G and you answer a stupid answer, they don't accept. So it's an actual handicap for you. Like for example, if the boys are from IIT, they expect skies from them. So if they do well, then obviously they get more marks. Because they start from that level. So try to get them into higher level. Please make sure.
That's the thing you need to do.
It's not difficult. For example, if they ask you, please tell us something about you. How do you handle this question? The mundane answer is, my name is this, I did my school, I did this, I did. They are very mundane, कुछ लिखा ही है ना वहाँ पे. What could be a right answer? Except saying that is your name and you would say that you did a quality BTech project which meant that, and you have done this activity which won the award. But that's where you want to take them up. Make them interested what you are doing.
So we should tell about our interests in the introduction.
You must tell about your achievements in them, and that you are ready. Your virtues are hard work, your virtues are honesty, and the projects you handle. If you say which school, तो लिखा ही है ना वहाँ पे. Your introduction is to beyond, not your father, not your mother, not your religion, not your minister. Don't even name a minister inside. And don't ever approach commission. Never. The other system would like to approach the members have to inform chairman every day. And you had it then.
Sir, may I ask the question
Yeah, please.
on the behalf of it? This may be a vision of the candidate when he is introducing himself. If you want to put his...
No, not vision. It is about he wants to tell something good about him. He wants to show that he can become an officer.
Yeah.
And he can only become an officer.
And
if he
that
shows
contest, in that contest,
vision is they are not asking. If they ask you what is your vision for life, then it is a different matter.
but in
They
that
are only asking that she says, what engineer are you?
Chemical engineering.
So you would say you are a chemical engineer, as a BTech project like this, and this won me the award. Or maybe you debated on a topic which won this. Maybe they are more interested in chemical engineering when they try to look at environmental control. So there are few things, which are happening in the country. Environment is one issue which has been talked about for technology people.
So when
For example, if you come across and say that you also use AI as a part of your study, then you are making sure that they are also questioning AI. Otherwise, they just keep on asking you some sundry things. And you end up a question at a answer at a time where you force them to ask the question following. Now, it's a technique. I mean, these are recipe only to get good marks. I'm not saying you want to get 130, 140, I have no problem. It's the easiest of interviews. Nobody troubles you. Coolly they'll ask you, you sit down, smile. Everything goody goody. You get for 140 marks. Finished.
Sir, some students also stay confused about the justification of the choice of service. Somebody has written IFS, he may...
Get them right. What is the confusion about it? Whatever rating you say, yes, I want.
So will they be, is it compulsory for them to justify that
Not
why
required.
I am opting
Why
for
90% they would ask you. Why should they ask you? Commission role is not to give you a service. Commission role is only to select you. Service given by DOPT. This information may or may not be there with the board.
And also the
But it is also true that all interviews are for IAS. They don't check you for defense account, they don't check you for anything postal. All questions are asked as if you are all going to become an IAS. That's one of the problem of this interview.
Sir, right, sir.
They will ask you what development, go to village, what do you see, the demography, the activities, the operations, how observant you are. In fact, if you yourself write what are the virtues which a bureaucrat should have, I think you are the best judge. What would be expected? I mean, normally asking. What do you expect? Anybody who is interviewing you to give you good marks, what is their expectation?
There could be people skills, good social interaction.
Oh, then? So when you occupy the position, yes, you are interactive, you are observant, you are honest,
Yes, sir.
you are unbiased,
Yes, sir.
hard work,
Yes, sir.
learning afresh.
Learning.
Dedication.
Yeah. Any other? You have any other question?
Yes, sir. So regarding the state cadre preferences also they might ask.
They won't ask.
Okay.
They won't ask. In whatever answer you give confidently and that's it.
So I
They don't decide which cadre you will get. It is not their job. They can't say if you are taken You are coming from Uttar Pradesh and
Yeah.
you say you want to take Union Territory cadre. It's none of their business. So why do in your mind come these kind of questions? The role is only to select you. The choice you gave to DOPT, based on your rank, you will have an option. That's all.
Right, sir.
So I haven't chosen my home state as a preference. Will that be a
I'm again saying, why would they ask this question? It's your choice which state you want to choose. And you only get based on your rank. I mean, who is telling that they ask you about your cadre? Is anybody told you that? It's not their rule.
Sir, as he has already said, sometimes instead of focusing upon their own answers, they just try to explore the subjectivity of the person who is asking the question and then just try to
How can they
convince
explore?
that
How can they
person.
explore?
This is what he was trying
They are
to
not
ask.
supposed to even smile at you. They just keep equanimity. They will not say you are answering right or wrong. How
Right,
can you
sir.
judge?
So that is the confusion, right, sir?
No, where is the
Because
confusion?
We won't know whether we are going in the right direction.
You should go with that thought itself that you are talking to the wall.
Okay.
Wall will open mouth to ask question, listen to you carefully and ask another question. Chairman once in a while might say, don't be scared and things like that, when you are stucking unnecessarily. Otherwise there is no business.
So there is something called stress interview. How does that go?
It's not written. Is it written in the word? You want to say, we don't want to stress you at all. The board says that we want to make you as comfortable as possible with the board so that you can do best. So anybody telling you they stress you is wrong. They will never stress you. The only stress will come when you have a surprise question for which you are not mentally ready.
Unexpected questions.
So, sir, in such questions, there should
It's up to you how to handle. How can I handle for you?
yeah. As in, if I don't know.
If you are read well, you can handle the question.
That's
If
your own
If you are not
ability.
read well, you can say no, sir.
Right.
Nobody stops you to say no. You are not supposed to know everything on earth. So some point you can say, sir, we don't know, I don't know in this area.
That's a real test of your ability when you face the unexpected question. Everyone is comfortable with the expected question, but the real test comes when the question is unexpected.
And therefore this training of asking more questions yourself is to ensure you are not really into that kind of surprise. Otherwise everything is fine. Any other?
Sir, there was one question I was asked in the board, UPSC board.
You appeared once?
Sir, I appeared in engineering service examination. So this was 9th March, and my photograph that Manoj Soni sir had, my board was Manoj Soni sir's board. He had a photograph, and I didn't shave a lot, like completely. So he made an initial remark that, may I say the remark? Sir?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so basically he said that I'm from an old generation, the fashion has changed a lot. In our days, clean shaven was the norm. Nowadays, you guys have beard, and there was no question in this. So like, how do I react? So I just
You are not
said
supposed
yes,
to
sir.
react, just listen.
Okay, sir.
Why should you react?
Okay.
Unless he asks,
So he
what are
didn't
your
ask.
comments on this?
Okay.
He didn't ask you.
Yeah.
So why do you comment?
Okay.
The answer in this is that your photograph must be the same which you are appearing on that day. Because the chairman has to certify the same candidate appeared. The problem comes that you had a photograph without specs.
Sir, that is the case with
Yeah,
me
this
right
will
now.
happen. So it is good to give new photographs when you go there,
Okay.
certified. Because they have to certify it the right person has appeared.
Okay.
And sometimes your look can change.
Right.
So don't give a photograph is it in deaf form or which form is that?
Sir,
Deaf they ask a form? A
Uh,
photograph?
they do, sir, but I don't
But
think
that
they-
should be the latest photograph, always.
Okay.
That's where the problem is.
So, sir, in my case, it's older one. So, shall
So
I?
why do you give older ones?
In between, I got these specs.
Yeah,
So, shall I carry the latest photograph in the interview?
you carry that and also once in a while you take off your specs if you can.
Okay.
If he is matching a photograph. Or you can say that's a photograph which I gave. After that, I have had specs.
Right.
Make that statement.
Okay.
But it is onus on him to say that the same person whose application is this has been actually faced the interview.
Yes, sir.
He is taking this onus on himself. So he has to be certified.
Yes, sir. So just a normal yes sir would do in this.
Nothing is to be done.
Okay.
He was not doing anything. He was making a statement and just quite.
Okay. So because even smile would not have worked because we were wearing a mask. So I don't know. Like I was just sitting.
Nothing to be done.
Okay.
You can't say, sir, you are right or you are wrong. How can you say?
Yes, sir.
Any other?
So if it's possible, could you have a look at our task and ask one or two questions?
Not required actually. I don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I leave it to you to ask questions. My understanding normally, Dave, is that hobbies you cook. 90% of you have no hobbies.
So hobbies are there, but probably we don't.
I am saying 90% have no hobbies. Actually, hobbies mean you do activity regularly in your interest area which distress you from normal work. By definition, that's a hobby.
Yes.
And therefore, something which interests you, know more about it. But that's some enjoyment. Instead of reading history, you enjoy reading a poetry book or maybe a romantic novel.
Right, sir.
So, hobby per se is something which you pursue for de-stress yourself and maybe add some more dimensions.
That's just your own creativity.
But when you write hobbies by concoction, then I can't do much about it. Some people say they like to go to villages. What does it mean, this hobby? In my 2 questions, I caught that boy and got given just 60 marks out of 300.
Can you understand?
He's a liar. Why do you cook?
Sir, in my case,
If there are no hobbies, say no.
Hobby is something that calls you.
If you like photography, photography means it just not end. You should know techniques of photography, you should understand camera, you must understand good photographers, best photographer you have seen. I mean, things like that, more depth.
Same like your ghazals.
Yeah, if you sing, you sing. Who's your friend? They can ask you to sing.
So I listen to girls.
You listen to, but can you sing? Why do you do this? Is it not a waste of time? What do you gain out of it? Yes, one part is entertainment, but life is not entertainment. What is the learning out of the ghazal? Who's a good ghazal singer? Each ghazal singer has its own variety. Which are the current ones, which are the older ones? And more important than the singer, it is the writer who is critical.
I was the question.
Ghazal mainly goes by the writer.
Yes, sir.
Is it Saya's ghazal or it is somebody else? And then you should know difference between what is ghazal and what is other other styles of Urdu singing, rubaiyas, and so that is what the hobby would mean. So my problem is that 90% of you are unnecessary right hobbies, and then you're caught. And if it's like my board, they'll finish. Anybody lying, I hate. And that's why all changes, bringing integrity, bringing all those kinds of things. So don't cheat, don't pose.
So sugar is not there.
Yeah,
Should I mean?
I don't need.
Yes.
Okay, so remain what you are. Remain dress normal. You are not required to even wear a suit. We don't look at whether your suit is good, or your Armani suit or anybody's, or whether your Kanchivaram sari or Banarsi. How would it matter to us?
So just a small question we were discussing outside. So like I don't know if I'll wear, but is it okay to wear a kurta as in?
Kurta is not a formal dress.
As in the
It's a
formal
political
kurta?
dress.
Okay, okay.
For bureaucrats, it says Bandgala.
Bandgala, okay.
Mantri can go with kurta pajama, but bureaucrats are supposed to wear pant and a Bandgala.
Bandgala, okay.
So kurta has not become a formal dress for people who come in interview.
Okay.
It's a very formal discussion. and these are 5 senior people.
Yes, sir.
Chappals are not allowed. I mean, it shouldn't be. I mean, normally speaking, you are meeting very good top 5 people and you just like, oh, Shabby.
Yes, sir.
It's a normal courtesy, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You won't wear a torn shirt, you will not wear a
Correct,
torn
sir.
pant, it will not be shirt looking like it's worn for 5 days.
Yes, sir.
It's just a matter of normal courtesy.
These are just normal courtesies.
So because I haven't seen anyone wear, that's why I just asked. I
No,
have
but-
worn a suit.
The questions can't come in your mind
Okay, sir.
because at no point of time in a formal discussion you would have a norm for formal dressing. So girls, kurta suit is allowed, pajama is, sari is allowed, even the coat pant is allowed, not an issue.
Okay, sir.
But skirt is not permitted. But that's not a formal dress.
Yes, sir.
Maybe tomorrow in your DM office you can go with your shorts on because then you are a boss. But that's not permitted.
Sir. But
Like for example, as a chairman, I'm not fond of suit very much. So it doesn't mean I was not chairman. I can dress well with my shirts on and formal. I'm not too fond of ties too, because वो गला घुटता रहता है उससे. So something which is not comfortable to you, please. If you can carry a band gala, fine. If you carry a suit, fine. If you carry a shirt, but sometimes it happens that you become too enthusiastic and a red shirt and on a black pant is too stupid. Something in which you are not competing with a film actor. Today I saw the other day an advertisement, one of the actors saying Amitabh Bachchan wearing a black shirt, suit, and what is the other young actor, Ranveer, he's wearing some jazzy shirts and they are eating pan masala. No, you are not that. You are going to become a future bureaucrat. Be a very decent person. Okay? Look good, but don't look a दूल्हा or a bride.
that's a difference,
Yes, sir.
वो ऐसे नहीं है कि आप पहले दिन जाके मसाज कराना है चेहरे को. आजकल बहुत कॉमन है ना. I mean, I other day went for a haircut and there was a young boy spending 1,500 rupees getting his massage done. It's not required. You do it your choice. I'm saying it is so simple. I mean, he's fine, white shirt and everything. Who stops you? Okay? So dress is a material. Whether you smile or cry is your choice. Board will not be worried. Why will they be worried? They are looking in you a quality person who can think, who understand, and they are taking a meaningful discussion.
That's their prime concern.
That's all. Yeah, if you are unnecessarily laughing or unnecessarily stucking up, you are not stubborn. No bureaucrat should be stubborn.
Right, sir.
You have a point of view, make a point of view with lot of data. And if the board still insists with it, leave it that.
Yes, sir.
Sir, on this similar lines, if in the middle of the interview I feel that I'm being misunderstood on a question, should I answer back or should I let it pass?
How would you come to know of it?
Sir, for instance, if they're counter asking on that question,
You repeat once again your point of view.
okay.
You might even change your point of view. With sorry saying, sir, sorry I said so, but on my rethink, this is what I believe. Be polite, that's all. But if you are wrong and still stubborn, that's worst. You want to ask any question? You joined late, so we talked about a lot of things. Any other doubt or fear remains?
Sir, how important is brevity in answers? Because a lot of here.
You all are engineers. Are you also engineer? Look, you are asking me this question. You answer me this now. How long should you answer?
So it should be as short and concise.
And the reasons are simple. There are 5 people, 30 minutes available. Each one have a chance to ask for 5 minutes. You would like to ask as many questions possible. He'll ask you 4 to 5, and that leaves you 40 seconds answer. I mean, where is the problem in this? Very simple thing. But you should have a backup. I mean, you come to 40 seconds, but you can stretch to 1.5 minutes. It depends on how do you answer. But बोर्ड ये नहीं कहता है कि आपको कितना आंसर करना है. You should get as many questions as possible to show that your knowledge base is large. You can think better. Lesser the questions means you are getting into very lower end of life.
Okay. So also, so there are a lot of discussions, as in people get questions from hobbies, educational background.
We just mentioned.
Yes, sir. So is there any particular, for example, if I have a good DAF, will they be asking me more about my DAF, my form?
What is a DAF?
So the form, my personality, sir.
It talks about your school. What will they ask you? What is the school?
Yes, sir.
If they ask you, they will only ask you what is said in new education policy in school education.
Yes,
Are you ready to answer?
Yes, sir.
So government policies must be read properly, and your answer, depending on, should be given.
So in this, so there are hobbies, then there are my home state and some keywords for
I have
example.
already answered those questions just now.
Yes, sir.
They will not ask you what your home state is written there. And all of you will not come into the All India service. Some of you will become customer exercise for which there is no home state.
Yes, sir.
So why are you so paranoid? 17 posts are where there is no home cadre, except in 2. And in the forest.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Your choice.
Okay.
Unless you have chosen your home, I mean, they start on a negative frame saying that if they can, that you want to choose your home state because you want to be corrupt, because there will be a lot of people who are local, they will influence you. You want to help your brother, sister, they can say so. Who stops them? Then you defend. After all, why should you choose your home state? Let me ask this question. A reasonable candidate, why should he choose a home state? He should choose the best state where he has more opportunity to work. Normally speaking, if I was you, I'll try to choose Maharashtra or I'll choose some other state where I have an opportunity to work.
Right, sir.
Why would I choose Haryana where I will have no opportunity? Small state. But then you choose your home state. They all know what home state would mean. Every third person would know you. They will come and approach you.
Yes, sir.
So there are pros and cons. You have to think it carefully, you know.
Yes, sir.
I would never ever do to my home state. The pressure which comes on you every day. Someday your uncle will come, auntie will come, your brother will come, your friend will come. And then the minister is your local relative.
Yes, sir.
After all, why should somebody come to the home state? Tell me. Purely because of this.
Yes.
Contract होगा तो रिश्तेदार को दिलवा देंगे. And all these people who sit here, they know. There could be some people who want to still work in Northeast. I mean, Northeast is our part of the country, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Northeast belong to us.
Yes, sir.
Those people are also belong. So if you are from Haryana, why don't you improve them rather than Haryana?
If you are willing to do something
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
in true sense, then from Assam to Andaman Nicobar, India is one.
Yes, sir.
And you would like to look.
So that's why people really don't know why they are doing it. They think घर है, पास है, language same है, मुझे तमिल नहीं पढ़नी पड़ेगी. But possibly could have done much better in Tamil Nadu. Politics is not bad. They respect bureaucrats greatly. All performing states respect the bureaucrats. You know this? They are Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, 3 states. They respect the bureaucrats. Go to Uttar Pradesh, they don't look at even. Mantri will run over you.
Okay.
I mean, since you asked me this question, I am telling you.
Yes, sir.
But I don't dissuade you what you are choose.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
And country is so small. After in foreign service, somebody would get China as first posting. Somebody might get UK. But somebody getting China is a very difficult job.
Yes, sir.
But learning is tremendous.
Yes, sir.
But it is not the role of UPSC to allocate you cut-off.
Yes, sir.
And they are not concerned. And as I already said, interview is done for IAS only. Because that's a common thing, developmental activity, bit of law and order. But it's not truly an IPS interview. Nor it is an interview for custom and excise. Half of you will not know. You will know general about GST.
Yes, sir.
Any other question?
So from hobbies and interests itself, I have one follow-up question. So sir, I have playing acoustic guitar as a hobby. I do play sometimes. Mostly after the office hours, I used to.
You work somewhere?
I was in Amazon as a senior software engineer.
Okay.
I left
So
the
be
job
ready.
last year.
You left the job, but remain in the domain to question in that area.
Right. So
About software, the software quality,
okay.
software use. If by chance somebody is like me there. And these are very common
Right,
questions
sir. Right.
today. Technology has become so common, household, and the people who are present are very senior and they read a lot.
Right.
Okay.
So sir,
So it's fine, you can say you played the guitar. The only question they can ask, what are the different kind of guitars, and if they have, somebody is very interested, they'll ask you which one, this guitar, which country it evolved, what kind of music differences. Do you also understand more music than this?
Okay.
They can ask you some more Indian instruments, because these are string instruments. There are other Indian instruments which are string.
Right.
They can, if they are further interested, they can ask you more. They can take you into other instrument other than string, like windpipes,
But
the
sir,
bansuri,
there is
the
no
tabla and the
limit to
dholak.
it.
Huh?
There is no limit to the questions.
There's no limit to question.
So,
So it could start from a hobby of this.
Right.
They'll ask you what kind of guitars are,
right,
and then they'll say what is the difference between sitar and it.
guitar.
Being the same string instrumentation, violin also same string instrument.
Yeah.
Sarangi also string instrument.
So my question was, sir, I have very limited knowledge about these things.
So read,
Okay.
read. You may not be asked. I'm not saying you'll ask, but the interview can go completely in that direction. I ask you a number of questions right away.
Right.
Which are the other kinds of guitar? Who are the exponents? Then which are the other string instruments?
Sure, sir.
He has written aviation enthusiast, sir. He has opened huge scope.
Well, I don't know why he did that. He must have read a lot. Did you read a lot of books on
Sir, I have
aviation?
read, have watched videos. I have visited ATC, Chennai and Delhi. I have read about it. I haven't read books of authors, but I have read.
So you think ATC become any activist for aviation?
So not an activist. It is
Anybody,
my
any
interest.
young child of 11, 12 today are taken to visit ATCs as a part of school.
So I like to read how
What is
functions.
aviation? Aviation covers the whole industry, which consists of commercial vehicles. They can consist of even Air Force vehicles. It consists of space.
Yes, sir.
In you being engineer, what engineering are you?
So, electrical engineering.
So you are in trouble.
Yes, sir.
They can ask you in aviation industry, tell us what is the power pack. You seen what is the power pack?
I haven't, sir.
When aircraft is connected to a ridge, it is pushed. It cannot go back itself.
Yes, sir.
So something which push it back.
Power back. Yes. sir.
That's called power pack, not
Oh,
power
power.
back.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, sir.
Then they'll ask you what kind of aircrafts are.
Okay. Yes, sir.
They will ask you avionics.
Okay.
Because aircraft is 60% avionics. They can ask you air conditioning and refrigeration. It is very different.
Yes, sir.
So you got into trouble yourself.
Oh,
Don't ever give hobbies like this. No.
okay.
Because you don't do that. There are books which people read. My grandson reads a lot. He's so small. He's interested in it, so he can sketch. He started learning all these tricks. But they need to depend time.
So now what can he do?
You can't do nothing except read. At least read the aviation policy of the government of India. Currently, the Air India has been sold out.
Yes, sir.
What is the stake in that? What is the agreement?
Rafael also, sir.
Huh?
Rafael also.
Rafale they will not ask because it is a defense aircraft. Currently kept in rep because government has said that the security issue, it cannot be opened up.
Yes,
So most probably will not ask this question. Shouldn't ask. Because the government refused to give any answer on that.
Sir, I've written a hobby reading novels on development.
And then you should also know, being an engineer, what is subsonic aircraft, transonic aircraft.
Yes, sir.
Air Force aircrafts are, what mark they run?
Sir, around Mark 2 to 5.
Yeah, which are the aircraft? 2 and what are 5? And they can ask you what is the mark.
Yes, sir. Mark is, 1 mark is speed of sound, equals to speed of sound in air.
How do you define mark? Mark number.
So Mark 1 is equals
Mark number.
to, Mark number is speed divided by speed of sound in air.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's right. All commercial aircrafts are below 1.
Yes, sir.
They
Around
touch
800.
speeds about 700 kilometers per hour.
700 to 800 kilometers per hour and around 1300.
So these are the questions that necessarily will come.
Yes, sir.
And that's you created yourself.
So, but like I have a basic knowledge. So
Yeah,
is
fine.
that enough?
I mean, just keep your finger crossed.
Because I do like reading about it. I can even read for the next month before my
Read it then. It's better to
read
read.
more because.
Better read.
Yes, sir. So also, sir, nature photography is one of my hobbies,
Good.
and I haven't done it for the last 2-3 years. But before in my college, I used to do it professionally with my professional photographer.
So you'll be happy with it. If they ask you, instead of aviation, they ask you the nature photography. It's better. And if you have had some photographs you taken, take along.
Can we, sir?
You
Yes,
can
sir.
take a chance. What's wrong?
Okay.
You have a file with you.
Yes, sir. But I don't think we are allowed inside the room to take anything.
It's a matter of chance.
Okay. Okay.
You take, and if somebody says keep it there, you will keep it there.
Okay.
You can take a photograph in your mobile. They might even not let your mobile get in.
Yeah, mobile is not.
So you can say that you have taken a photograph. Give some examples of which photographs you taken. If they want anything for you,
Okay.
what they published. See, nowadays photography has become so simple. You click. There's a difference between clicking and photography.
So one more thing that confuses them a lot is protocol about entry, wish, exit. Is there any particular style about
Like,
it?
should it be? I don't know. What could it be? Tell me, what do you think if you are entering a room?
Sir, just be as respectful as you would be to an elderly person who's in a good position.
Okay, what would be impact? You are not dancing. Okay, you are walking,
Yes.
and the distance would be about 8 steps maximum. कमरे तो इससे बड़े नहीं होते ना किसी के, तो क्या बताइए आप कैसे impress करेंगे? There are certain little things that you open up a door, you don't bang the door.
Yes.
I mean, that's a normal courtesy. Let it be left little easier. Go. What else?
Wish them cordially.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can only wish normally.
Yes.
Nothing can be cordial. You can't doing this every time. You can't also bow down and touch their feet. Can you? So think, what will you do if you are entering a room?
For wishing them based on the good
You cannot start wishing from the door itself.
Right, sir.
Yeah,
Will you do that?
No, sir. First, take the permission.
First, you have to go into the room.
Right, sir.
May I come in? Come into the room. Don't bang the door, which is a normal courtesy,
Right, sir.
and go to the table and wish them.
Right, sir.
And request them whether you can sit or not.
Right, sir.
What else can be there? You tell me. I don't know what else can be.
So how will you wish 5 people sitting there?
I don't know whether what will you do. It didn't occur to me ever.
Mostly the eye contact is with the chairperson only.
If your choice, you can wish everybody.
Yeah.
Wish you ma'am. उनका नाम तो लिखा नहीं है वहाँ पे.
Right, sir.
So best course could be if there is a madam, say wish madam first and say sirs, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't know what can happen.
Sirs and ma'am.
Can something else happen? I mean, normally आप यही करते हैं ना? ये कुछ और तरीके से करते हैं.
That also
साष्टांग
happens.
तो नहीं करते. पैर भी छूने की कोशिश नहीं करेंगे. मैक्सिमम हाथ जोड़ लेंगे और क्या है? नमस्ते कर लेंगे.
That also happens in West in the same manner. Sir, please.
Anything else?
Sir, I've written a hobby reading novels on development economics. But my optional is not economics. My background is also, so it's just a hobby.
Good.
What?
So they'll ask you which books have you read?
Yes, sir.
Why development of economics alone? So you can easily answer. These are very simple questions to answer. And whatever good books you read, you tell. Another day, if they jocularly want to you didn't want to read any romantic novel at a young age. Why not?
Sir, I have also read some of them, but yes.
No, these are just out of cuff kind of questions. Have you read any book on biography? They can say. If this was a chance to you, which one will you read? Because many of these people have read lots of books. I am not the one who has read lots of books. I hate reading books, by the way.
So at various places they go for mock interviews and all, and they are given different feedbacks. And some common feedbacks are like, give smile, feel more confident. Nobody tells how to. And what else?
What will you do? Is
About entry and
if,
exit.
like for example, his gait
How
is
to-
smiling. You can see his face, he has a smile on the face.
Sitting posture.
If you
and
don't
all.
have, what will you do? How can you forcefully smile, you tell me? You can't also smile with a much wider, So why do you get into trouble?
Sitting posture, movement of limbs, everything, sir.
No, I can't see his limbs. The board is not spending time to look at your limbs and your legs and in your body parts. I doubt stupid people tell these things.
Sir,
Am I there to look at your body parts? I mean, we are there to look at you and look at your levels of confidence, the way your mind is working at that time. Where would be time to look at what are you doing? And you are not playing with the pencil anyway. Normally you don't. So it's whole idea is that the nice people are there, you also behave properly.
So one question coming, as in, it is told that there is a psychologist also.
Who told what? Have they written in? Has it written in that? What has been written?
It's not written, sir.
No, what is written? It's better repeat that once again.
Okay.
You please read what the personality test. And they have also indicated what kind of board it would be.
Sure, sir.
So don't cook cobwebs in your mind. The first thing, no cobwebs. It is not end of life. नई selection होगा तो जिंदगी खत्म नहीं होनी. You are not going to hang yourself. Are you?
No.
Then क्यों इतने चिंतित हो भाई?
No.
More you worry, you create more cobwebs in your mind, you are not going to perform. Enjoy, have a good evening walk every day. Rehearse your questions, try to answer, be coming out as if you own those questions. You are not spectators, you are not coming in quiz competition. You have come to become a bureaucrat.
Sure, sir.
Good, I suppose.
Sir, two questions I have. One is, there are certain controversial topics, like what is your view on hijab issue or the... So how...
Has somebody even asked this question?
It could be asked.
Farm laws
I'm
have been
asking,
asked.
has somebody asked a question?
So when I was going through the current affairs, I was creating my own questions. So this was also one
No,
of...
first you understand what questions were asked in past year.
Okay, sir.
Were any question of this nature was asked?
Farmers' laws last year, there were questions asked.
Well, how was the question framed?
I don't remember. Sir.
Does it become controversial?
I'm not sure. Sir.
If there is a policy taken by a state, Centre has not taken that policy. It's a Karnataka state policy
Karnataka state policy.
of doing that, and we already have a High Court judgment.
Right, sir. Karnataka High Court.
What else you can do except saying that state has done this rule when the High Court takes us in this position. Now come the question whether you agree or disagree.
Right.
So it's up to you. Who stops you? If you want to go to more fundamental right, you might say that I have a freedom to wear a decent dress. But mind you, schools have a possibility to recommend uniform.
Right, sir.
Schools have this practice of recommending a dress code. Like for example, when the issue of Kadha and turban came in UK for Sikh policemen, they have to pass a rule that in their case this rule of wearing turban is allowed. So it is possible. It depends on the societies. The state government would have let it pass like this. It's only covering the head.
Right.
After all, Indian ladies at home cover their heads. Whenever their senior man comes in, I don't know, any of you from Haryana, still they get a long veil.
Long wheels, sir. Covering.
They are in a long veil.
Yeah.
The moment a senior person is coming. A person
Even
is
in
not
UP,
from the
sir.
family.
Even in UP.
So what's wrong? But then it's opposition to take place. But what is controversy? There is no controversy. Question is on policy. An answer is, you know the policy, the element of the policy. If in the meantime there are issues which have been discussed, you can say these are the issues being discussed. So pros, cons, in your view. There is no controversy about it.
And this mostly the views will be aligning to the final state decision or the High Court judgment, right?
No, but they have not said so. I mean, do they carry a transcript of interview to the government of India and CBI? I don't think it's never happened yet. Okay, this man has not supported Karnataka High Court judgment and therefore he must be looked after CBI. Commission doesn't do that to you.
Right, sir.
Commission is worried about those who often give answers and stick to those useless views. You don't know anything about what were the 3 acts of the agriculture, the government passed farm laws. And you start talking something which is, so don't put one side, put both sides together and then take a position. And if you don't take a position, that's also not correct.
Sure, sir.
And when you take a position, you can say, this is why I want to be on this line. There is no controversy. Government doesn't make controversial positions. They make a policy based on a feedback, and maybe while implementing you will find a lot of difficulties, and that is one of the reasons why the farmer is treated. Or that's the reason why people are, for a little thing of, I don't know what Karnataka government would have got out of it. Something government does for politics is a different matter, but that's not your headache. Everybody knows the other day the Home Minister has gone to Chandigarh and said that everybody has now become Seven Center. Who stopped them doing earlier also? But everybody knows elections are coming. So that you have to be clear, you are going to become bureaucrat, not a politician.
But when we know that the reasons are the political reasons.
No, but then the commission does not say so. Commission, you are answering what are the facts before you to answer the question. On his, what would you say? Tell me, if that's a question.
On his
What will you say? What position will you take?
Sir, I will go with the judgments of the
So it finished.
Karnataka High Court.
But you might appear sometimes as if you are a person who always take lines of which are established. You have no thinking. It's an issue of fundamental right.
Right, sir.
Lot of things have been written on it by now. But you are not reading. Have you read a counter view on it?
Yes, sir, obviously, because.
Then what is the counter view?
So, if it
There is
is
still
banned-
sub judice in Supreme Court.
Right, sir. So the counter view is
It's a fundamental right.
right, sir. And the
Is it obscene?
Article
What Constitution give me a right? I should dress in a manner which is not obscene to society. That's Constitution says. So you should know that. My criticism of what was that act where Shahin occurred. The Constitution provided me this right to represent. The method I applied it could be wrong. So you could say that they could not have occupied the place where, but they have a right to represent peacefully. Gandhiji did that for life.
That's the point.
So there is no controversial question, it is in your mind. Because you don't know anything about them. So don't be an unread, stupid person. You have not read it thoroughly, it's better to see more.
Okay, sir. Sure.
They are looking somebody because tomorrow the moment you go into the government, you have to write on file something. Whatever your downs people write, one day is that my clerk has written this, superintendent has written this, I'll just sign. Then you are not a good bureaucrat. The people who rise are those who take decisions. Okay, probably one or two last questions.
Any other doubts? Done? Sure?
No fears now?
No, sir.
Good. And don't bother about too much mocks.
Exactly.
You have to read yourself, ask questions yourself, and be happy. And I know for sure as an academic that every child knows whether he is right answer or wrong answer. Don't tell me that you didn't know what wrong are you saying. Every moment you are in the exam hall, you know. A good candidate knows whether he is right or wrong. There is no guesswork.
Moreover, prelims is over. That was the toughest part. You knew.
This is the most easiest part. I must say this is the most easiest.
This is the
Good.
easiest.
All the best to you.
Thank you, sir.
Do enjoy yourself. Relax. Don't get frightened. Whatever people might say, forget. You prepare yourself.